was thinking, just take the father, don't take the dog.
Where the hell am I and where's a cab?
If I was in that, I'd be going, my God. Hey, welcome to Screen Time. I'm Lou.
And I'm Sid.
And on this channel, we love movies, we love games, we love revisiting movies from our childhood and experiencing movies afresh for the first time. And I just want to take this moment just to say a quick thanks to our new subscribers who've joined this very new channel.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate you following us, you subscriing to the channel.
Thank you so much.
So welcome and thank you very much.
Thank you, yes. So what did we watch this week, Lou?
So this week we watched Twister and Twisters.
Yes, we did the double barrel.
The double barrel, yes. The double whammy.
We did.
Do you want to give a little... Should we start with the...
Let's start with Twister.
First?
Let's start with Twister. Twister was made in 1996. It stars Helen Hunt, Bill Paxton, Jamie Gertz, and Carrie Ewell, and Philip
Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. What a film.
Great cast.
Great. What a stacked cast.
I mean, when you see the names on the movie, you just think we're going to be in for a ride. Yeah. I've seen this movie a few times and, revisiting it, I hadn't seen it for a while, and revisiting it again, you just think, oh my goodness, we've lost, a few really great actors.
I know. It's really sad. But what a film.
Yeah, it's a fun ride.
The basic premise of Twisters, if you haven't seen it, it's a really, really simple story. Basically, it's a team of storm chasers who've designed an early warning system, and they need to try it out. They need to field test it by putting it in front of bigger and bigger tornadoes, and they're trying to get the information of what happens within a tornado. And that's the basic premise. Yeah. Apart from the fact that there's also a bad team.
Yeah.
An corporate evil team.
Yeah.
Jonas Miller, he's a night crawler. He's in it for the money, not the science.
Yes, so you're rooting for the underdog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I love about it is their tech that they've developed. They've called it Dorothy.
Yeah, it's got real homage,
reference to the Wizard of Oz, which I love. I really love.
Too.
Dorothy.
She's here.
Show me.
I would have seen this at the cinema.
Yeah, me too.
And I mean, at the time, it was big.
It was huge.
It was really big.
Well, it had Spielberg under there as the anything big was.
Yeah. So I mean, I remember going probably because so many other people were going. So I was thinking, well, I have to go and watch this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I really enjoyed my first watch of it.
Yeah. We open the film really with you get these great 90s visuals of Twister, and then it all breaks apart. It's a very 3D, very, it was super cool. And then we open up on a flashback, and what I love about this film, there's no padding. It's all very lean. It goes straight to the point. We don't have any, know what I mean? Yeah. So we open up in 1969. We're introduced to Jo as a little girl, and her first experience of a major tornado is like an F5, and it's her family leaving the farm, going down into the storm cellar out in the garden. And then tragedy happens, obviously, to create that trauma. Yeah. Her father gets whipped out of the bunker, and it's such a dramatic scene.
Judge how the tone of a movie by whether or not they're gonna, do something to the pets.
Yeah, that is a good barometer.
Yeah. So there was a dog in that first scene. So it's like, are they? Will they?
Will they?
They?
Yeah. And exactly.
They didn't.
So
I thought things were going to be okay.
This is okay. There's going to be no major. But they're happy to kill off a parent.
They're happy to kill off a parent. Well, I was thinking, just take the father, don't take the dog.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So you're introduced to Jo. She's got this trauma. And then it cuts to this wonderful sweeping shot. Yes. It must have been a helicopter shot.
Yeah, no drones.
No drones. Sweeping over the fields in Oklahoma, and there's like a crop duster plane flying past. And then you introduce this lovely red 4x4 who's got Bill and Melissa.
You're nervous about seeing her, aren't you?
Nervous?
Why do I look nervous?
Bill is one of the designers of this early warning system called Dorothy, and his new girlfriend, or well, not girlfriend, but
wife to be.
Wife to be.
Yeah.
And they need to travel to see Joe, who's the co-designer of this Dorothy, to get the divorce papers signed.
Hiya, Joe.
Automatically, you're set up in this kind of like, ooh, here we go.
I mean, he's obviously left the group.
Yeah.
He's moved on to do other things. He's returning just purely to have this sign.
Yeah, exactly.
And one of the lines that they all keep saying to him is, "Oh yes, you're back.
You're back.
You're back.
I'm not back. I'm not back.
Yeah,
absolutely. And that gets pulled up again, but we'll go there later.
Yes.
Then you're introduced to the team, and it's such a diverse set of characters. You've got like and they've all got different musical tastes, and
Exactly,
I mean, you've got Dust.
And the cars are also different.
I know. They've all got their own identity.
Yeah.
It's very cool. So that's a great moment. And you're also introduced. I mean, obviously, Joe hasn't got over Bill. She still harbors this kind of.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that's,
you forgot that one signature.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that page.
Yeah. She's holding on.
Biding time.
She has to remove her ring and all this sort of stuff when he arrives.
Did you sign papers?
Oh, come on, if we hurry, we can still catch him.
Bill, glad you're back! I'm not back!
And so you realize the setup. They brought along Melissa as the reason to explain what is going on.
Yeah.
And she's like a fish out of water kind of character. That poor woman. It's just.
You know what's really funny? Because the first time I watched this, I thought she was annoying and, you know, and all of that. But this watch, I felt really differently about her.
Did you?
I felt really sorry for her
Yeah.
because it's exactly that. She's a fish out of water.
Where's my truck?
There it is.
She's a counsellor, a therapist.
Yes.
And so she's taking these phone calls during the movie to try and like calm people down when she's in very extreme situations herself, which is the comedy aspect of it. I felt really, really sorry for her on this watch because, you know, she doesn't know this environment. She's so unprepared for what they experience.
Yeah, I mean, there's a perfect line, isn't there, where she goes,
You know, when you used to tell me that you chased tornadoes, and I always just thought it was a metaphor.
Yeah.
And that just pictures it, because obviously she only sees the weatherman side of Bill on TV and not the reality of what he really loves, because it's obvious he really loves this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's selling himself short. I think it's obviously he has to get away from Joe. The bit I feel most sorry for her, though, is after all of this trauma in the drive-through, and they're all absolutely, and the place is devastated. And then she goes, oh, I'm going to go back. And he goes, that's right. You go back to the motel. And she goes, no, I'm leaving. I'm going home. And he's like, oh, and you know, and she goes, oh, don't worry, I'll find my way home. And then she turns around with her hand on the hip and walks on. And then she sort of goes, she does this look of like, where the hell am I? And where's a cab? And, you know, and they just drive off. And I'm like, that poor woman just left in the middle of this mayhem.
I know my way home.
So you're introduced to these characters, and then you're also introduced to the bad guys, who aren't really bad guys.
Is it Jonah?
They're Jonah. And he's fabulously slimy in this. Carrie Ewells, who is in the Bride, what's it called? The Princess Bride. Thank you. And he plays this role brilliantly.
You want to take credit for my design, is
You're
that
a liar. She was our idea and you know it.
So he's
always earwigging.
Yes,
to
and
find
he's
out
ripped
what
off.
move they're going to do first.
Yeah, and he's ripped off their design basically. Yeah. So obviously there's that clash, and so the race is on. It's like who can get their thing in front of a tornado and prove this system works. So that's the threat in the threat in it. When you listen to the premise of it, you just think, oh God, what a boring film that's going to be. They're just going to be chasing one tornado after another. But somehow or other, with the use of the characters, and they give each of the tornadoes almost like its own identity. They've got different sounds and different Like there's some of them raw, some of them are
Yeah.
it's
In this movie, it really feels like the tornado in some way is on the attack of them. It's more personal.
Yeah.
I found. I
This
find
time
that
it's personal.
This time it's personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I found really weird on this latest viewing, I've just bought the 4K version of it, and there's been some tinkering going on by Jan de Bont, the director,
Right.
because there's a line in it that goes, "There's greenage," like when they're in the diner, and he's sort of with the soil and all this sort of stuff.
Right.
Going green. Greenage.
But he's done some grading on it, and it's green. It's really green. Okay, imagine that you've got like your 3D glasses and you've taken the red filter out and you put another green one in. When you're watching the film, it's that green.
Oh,
it's actually, it's a little bit too much. It's way too much, actually. And then it carries all the way through to the section where the tornado catches them under the bridge and they're under there.
Yep.
So that whole section from there to there is this green tinge. And they fade it out a little bit towards the end, but I found it really jarring. I found it's such a shame. I much prefer the older version where they just say it's greenage and it's like, they darken the sky a little bit. But anyway, it doesn't ruin the movie.
Yeah.
But it's like, why did they do that? It's no point.
mean,
No point.
those sorts of things just didn't jump out at me when I watched the movie.
So are you watching an older version or did you stream it or?
I watched it. I streamed it.
Okay.
So I watched it on Prime.
Oh, so it must be an older cut of it or an older thing. Well, good.
So the grade for me, I didn't look at the fields and think they should be greener.
Right, okay. Yeah, exactly.
It was not a thing that I'm focused
this
on the tornado.
Hits you in the face.
To be honest, the first thing I thought about, you talked about that first scene when you go in and it's obviously a plane shot.
Yeah.
I just thought the location just looked absolutely stunning with all those fields.
It's really great.
Yeah. And you were talking about all the different characters and just how you get that different feel. And I agree with you. I think the music as well, when they put that, I don't, yeah, exactly. And it's like we're on a mission, but
adventure.
When they were going to chase the tornadoes, it was all about excitement and energy. Yeah. And you're thinking, okay,
we're on this ride.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Yeah.
The movie itself, you don't really, apart from obviously that something happening to her father.
Yeah.
But other than that, you don't really get a sense of the real danger.
No.
Even when they're under the bridge, I just didn't believe at any point that one of them would suddenly disappear. It never really felt dangerous.
That's because the dog didn't die.
Well, the dog didn't die. But there is a point, though, when they're in that garage.
Yeah, okay.
When the storm actually hits the town and that wheel cap comes in and hits one of the team right across and she has to put her hand on his forehead.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And he's so shocked. And I think his shock actually sort of replicates how you're feeling. Because I find that a really shocking moment. And his face, it's like, oh my God, actually something could happen to me.
I got hurt.
Yeah, and that was a moment in the movie where I thought, people might get hurt.
Yes, I think they wanted to introduce, because you're introduced to the tornado, the first one, and each tornado escalates up the scale. Yeah. So the first one is like, oh, because you're looking at the spectacle of it. It's like, oh, you've got time to worry about them. You just want to see these tornadoes and how they look. And it was stunning at the time. And it still works now. I don't think there's any...
it was nominated for a VFX Oscar.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's see what she does.
It was all about making characters of these
things,
because they were really selling the effects. And as you say, I still buy it.
It's an adventure ride. It's you're not necessarily looking for ultra realism, because that in all of these shots there'd be so much stuff. It would be misty, it would be rain.
And that is one of the problems, though, I do find with it, is that they are in the middle of a tornado under a bridge, and you can see all of this debris flying like bits of wood and whatever. And I mean, if I was in that, I'd be going, you know, and you would have like cuts all over. They come out unscathed.
When they shot this film, they wanted to get actual footage of tornadoes and stuff. So they went to Oklahoma and they went in tornado season, and it was one of the quietest seasons they had ever had.
Right.
So there's shots where there's brilliant sunshine and blue skies, and they had to digitally change the color of the sky, and there was all these things. But saying that, they had to use so many practical effects. They had blast cannons, they had like weather machines spraying them with water. There were some injuries. She got hit on both Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt got like hit by shrapnel, not shrapnel, but you know what I mean, visual, like bits of grit and stuff, and
practical things.
Practical stuff, and also like some of the lightning effects. They used these arc lights that flashed, and they had like minor eye damage from that because they looked into the bulb or something. Yeah. So there were some injuries, and she actually concussed herself, and she was unconscious for about a minute or two, where she hit her head on the lid of the door of a car or something. So they did put themselves into some.
I'll hold my nose.
No. But I think the clips that you're talking about are very much like brilliant sunshine, and they're not actually, none of the hair's moving, but everything else is CGI.
Yeah, I mean,
around.
Absolutely. But I did, you know, it's all part of that, where you say about the first part, where you don't feel like anything can happen to them, and of course, as I said, all this debris is flying around them, and they're just, you know, hanging on, but nothing really hits them.
But do you care? I don't care.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm just talking. I mean, it's notes.
Exactly. And I think it's because it's an older film. Obviously, this, like, you can pick it apart for the VFX and stuff like that, but I think
it's a popcorn movie.
It's a popcorn movie, and you don't care. When you said about the guy getting hit in the thing, there's some bits in the film that I absolutely love, and I love that sequence where they're at the drive-through and it's night and there's calm.
Yes.
There's calm, and it's the low ebb of the film. She knows that they've had that conversation and she's signing the papers. But then you've also got Melissa in the room, kind of contemplating and knowing that she isn't the one for him. And then you've got Bill, who's kind of like, oh gosh, you know, I really need to resolve this.
Yeah.
Long day.
And there's that real kind of quietness, and then
it's the lull before the storm.
Exactly. And what I love is the tension build. You start getting the clues. You got the TV frizzling, But it's
the drive-through.
Yes.
The drive-through is my favourite bit.
Oh, is it? Is you as well?
It's
okay.
the favourite bit.
Right.
Yeah, go on. You continue.
No, I mean, I was just saying. I mean, there's some great bits in there. There's a load of practical stuff of things being thrown around. You've got vehicles going through things, but there's that one shot where it opens. The scene opens with a shot of The Shining, and you're like, "What is this?" And then it pans down, and you realise you're at this drive-through. But then when the twister comes and it breaks up the screen, but you can still see the image through that was a great shot. And
because there's a flash of lightning, and you see the screen, and there's a flash of lightning, and then you can see the storm behind
there's like a cone behind.
It's brilliant.
But it's the build, and it's the music. There's this to the music, and you're like, it's coming. Hey, Danny, come play with us. It's that moment as well. So it all works really well, and it builds that tension because it's such a good. And I think that's what makes this film. I think there's throwaway stuff. You know, we've got cows. You know, you've got that CG cow.
Just gotta breathe.
They reused that from Jumanji as well. It was the same model.
Oh, okay.
Jumanji had that cow.
Same cow.
So they reused the VFX. It's just so effectively done, and there's real consideration because obviously the CG at the time was really expensive to do. So they had to be very, very measured in how they... You know,
and they saved it for the bigger moments.
Yeah. And then when you get to the bigger moments, when they finally get that thing into the F5, there's some great stuff in there. I mean, you know, they throw everything at them. There's a truck. There's a house. There's the
house, and then the squeaky bear like comes past the window.
It's a fun ride. It's a really fun ride.
What is quite, you know, funny about it when looking back now is, of course, the tech at the time. You know, when they are telling you about Dorothy, obviously they need to tell you what the contraption does.
What it does, yeah.
And so they just go to a diagram on the side of, you know, the thing, and then he's just doing a hand moving going, so these little like gadgets, these little balls will go up into the tornado, and they just do that, you know. And so there's no sort of, you know, showing on diagrams or visual diagrams or anything.
But
it's
you
just,
don't need it, do you?
No, but it's great. But it's all talked through in terms of, you know, educating Melissa to educate us. In the second movie, it's slightly different how they approach that.
It is. I mean, we can move on to the second movie if you like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you seen Twisters often?
No.
Have you seen it many times?
No. It might be the third time I've seen it. I saw it at the cinema, and then I bought it on disc and I watched it, and that must have been about a year ago, and then I watched it this time. I enjoyed it. What I enjoyed about it is that it twisted the expectations.
It twisted?
It twisted the expectations of what came before. It's not a sequel because none of the other characters feature anywhere in there. It's a whole new story, a new generation. So it's a standalone film. So it's more of a revisit, I guess. And unlike Twisters, there's quite a few deaths in this.
Unlike Twister, I mean.
There's quite a few deaths in it. So the early shot, when I first watched it, I was like, this is going to really annoy me, because it was like these young kids. There wasn't a diverse enough age group of characters in it initially in the film, and I was like, oh no, I'm really, and they're all hyped and and I was like, this is going to drive me crazy. But the shock of seeing, you know, 3/5 of the cast
just disappear,
literally disappear. The reveal of her, the main character, Kate, all bloodied and stuff, and walking out of all of this wreckage was like, wow, okay. So you can make sort of associations like, oh, well, this is Joe.
Yes.
You know, so it did follow those larger patterns. Like there's
a trauma from the past that she's carrying with her to the present.
Exactly.
The title was different, but they used the title style that you would have found on the DVD of Twister.
Yes.
It's that same style. So they used that as the logo for the new movie. So straight away you just think, where's the nods going to be? Where's the link going to be? And you look for that because you know the other movie. But I wanted to go into it thinking, as I started watching it, thinking, okay, there's no links, so I have to view this as a standalone movie.
Yeah.
And I think if people haven't seen Twister, you can definitely look at this as a standalone movie.
Absolutely.
And it's just one that just brings things up to date.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's so true.
It's a more of a modern take on things.
We gotta complete the triangle. We get right in front of that thing and set up our radar. You got this, Kate.
Let's do the synopsis.
Yeah, so it's it's going to be pretty similar.
Yeah,
So Kate has found a way, or she thinks she's found a way, of actually dissolving tornadoes by using like a chemical approach that she injects into the tornado and starves it of either its oxygen or liquid or something. There's some chemical
reaction that happens
that will stop a tornado.
Yeah.
So she goes out and she's trying to field test it with her college friends.
Yeah.
And then there's disaster.
Talk to us.
Sensors just shot up 70,000 feet.
The next ride velocity is 200 miles per hour.
That's impossible.
And this is an EF5.
I think she also thinks that in her messing with it, it made it bigger because it becomes bigger. So she thinks that she's done something fault. That's, and whether, I wasn't actually sure whether that was the case or not, or whether it was just in her head that that had happened. She moves to New York and she just is working for the weather service. And then her old friend, Harvey, comes to visit and says, look, I want you back
who's one of the survivors.
One of the survivors,
from the group.
He convinces her to come back because he needs her expertise.
I mean, this is incredible.
I know. And you're the only person that can get me close enough to a tornado to do this.
He was in the military and he found these scan devices that used to search for missiles or something, or could scan missiles. And he realized that he could put them in the field and actually use them to scan tornadoes.
Yeah, to have
so
a 3D
if you have
scan.
three of them called Scarecrow, they had names. One was Scarecrow, one was Tin Man, and one was the Lion. Yeah.
Oh.
And then it all connects back to Wizard, which is the central hub in the van where they get all this information. Of course, the first time they're trying to catch one or scan one, the trauma comes in and she freaks out and they lose it, and Harvey is very upset, etc., etc.
We're too far!
And then you're introduced to the bad team.
Which is a reversal.
Exactly.
Because she joins the corporate team.
Yeah.
With all of the tech and the cars.
Yes.
And the bad team are the team that were in the first movie.
Well, yes, exactly. That's what your expectations are.
They're setting off fireworks.
Yeah, they're like really rowdy and
sell t-shirts.
They sell t-shirts. And so the perception is that they're just making money off of this. I like that because I just thought, right, okay, this is different. They're not on the good. She's not on the good team. She's on, actually reveals later that she's actually on the bad team.
Yeah.
And that the funder of this high-tech team is actually going to these people and buying their land cheap after they can't afford to survive the tornado.
Yeah, the destruction.
The actual look of the tornado obviously is so much more improved. In some ways, it's almost to its detriment a little bit, because
too clean.
Where the first movie had identities for each of the tornadoes, even right at the beginning, you're introduced straight away to these big tornadoes, and the visual effects are so clean and so brilliant that there's not really that feeling of escalation.
Yeah.
You don't feel like, oh,
you're
that
meeting
threat.
A newer one.
You don't. They felt very samey.
Yeah, the so-called bad group.
Yeah, yeah.
Which are the fun group.
Yeah.
They actually have a heavier truck that is able to plow down into the soil, so that they've got, you know, a good solid foundation. So of course these tornadoes come and are swirling, and they're literally within the tornado. So you would imagine the noise would be so deafening. But you, as you say, you don't get that sense. So you don't get that sense of fear when you're in it.
It just didn't feel as encompassing or as threatening as the previous movie.
Which is funny, because as a movie in itself, it was a lot more threatening.
Yeah.
It was a lot more threatening. It was a lot darker.
Yeah.
They weren't scared of just, you know, getting rid of people. So there was always that sense that that could happen to anybody in the team.
Yeah. Because you were introduced quite heavily to both teams, when she switches allegiances halfway through, the other team that she moves in with, they're not fleshed out enough for you to really care particularly about them. Yes. And the same with the other team, because now you've kind of given up on them, because they're like, oh, well, then they're the bad characters, don't really care about them so much. So you're left in this kind of like...
It was a bit, it's a bit wishy-washy.
Chief Stormhound Boone, Boney baby, we got Dexter and Danny in the caravan behind us. And Lily, with her drone ready.
It was good.
And
you know, you have somebody who actually has eyes through a drone.
Yeah.
You know, which is really fun. And I actually didn't think they really made much of that.
No.
You know, you could have got some amazing shots through that
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
But it was one area that wasn't explored. And
Yeah.
so you didn't really get much of that character either.
No.
And there was a guy that you suddenly realised was doing loads of sketches. But we never got to see any
And
of
I
that
think
as
that was-
to what they actually contributed to the team.
Yeah.
Whereas in the first movie, you've got the guy going, well, I don't know what this road is, and he's trying to get all his maps out,
Yeah.
you know, and he's being shouted at and whatever,
Yeah.
but you get the character. I will say, though, one thing that I actually did like about this movie was the fact that they did explore the towns. They explored
Yes.
what the aftermath was
Yeah.
with these tornadoes,
Yeah.
which you never got a sense of in the first movie. It was literally like these tornadoes are going through and they get caught up in them and then they like, whoo, that was great, you know, and that's all you get.
Yeah.
Whereas they straight away, as soon as the tornado's gone past, they're like, we have to go and look at the town and help
Yes.
the town.
Yeah.
You were right back there. It's good that we came to help.
I wish we could do more.
The movie is actually kind of educating you on the
Yes.
impact that they do have.
What I found,
which was
yeah.
nice because, you know, they're not ignoring that aspect. It's not all fun and games. There is something that happens.
There were some fun bits in this. I mean, I love it's almost like an echo of the drive-through where they go to the rodeo.
Yes.
And so you get it's a nighttime again, and then you get the hint where there's suddenly all these green leaves from nowhere just suddenly appear.
Air feels heavy. This isn't good.
And they have to take shelter.
Yeah.
And there's a great nod in this, actually. There is one link over when they're in the gas station and they're trying to encourage this man to come with them. Don't get in the truck. Come with us. Come. And he's like, oh, the service here is appalling. There's no Wi-Fi. That's actually Bill Paxton's son playing that character, which I read up. He gets swept up in his van. But I just thought it was a nice thing to do, to have his son in the movie. But that was a great sequence. But again, they're down in that swimming pool.
Yes.
And the sound wasn't loud enough that would have been like, that you wouldn't have been able to hear them speak. And I just felt that it just needed more.
It feels a real shame because if they're in a swimming pool, surely you would have a different type of sound.
It would be
well,
like,
because it would be coming off of the walls.
It'd
and
be
because
whistling, but
because they're so low.
Yeah, I love the musical soundtrack, okay? But the orchestral soundtrack was really lacking in the second one. The first one had this real kind of like, this adventurous music. And then it had the real threat of like, whoa, thing. And there wasn't any of that in this. I can't remember anything particular.
I can't. I'm usually quite susceptible to the music, and I don't recall.
There wasn't anything memorable.
There was nothing that really grabbed me.
No. There was no theme that you could,
I
could hum that, you know?
No, I won't be humming anything on this video.
I think what worked on this, though, is that you had a really charismatic male actor.
That was on my notes.
Was it?
Yes.
Do you want to have a word with that then?
No. I mean, I'm just joking because that was on my notes because he was very easy to watch.
You knew that Harvey also really liked her, and he confessed, he said, I'd do anything for you. So they were trying to almost set up the Melissa, Bill,
yes,
that
like
triangle.
A triangle situation. But I didn't. Yeah, it didn't formulate for me. No.
One of my favourite parts actually was when she drives home to her mum. She hasn't seen her mum.
Kate, what happened? What?
And it's that quiet moment, and she's thinking about the past. She's thinking about everything that's happened. And I love the moments with the mum. And then obviously Tyler comes and visits and stuff. And I found those moments really lovely in the film.
I loved that. And I loved the way that the mum was being a typical mum and sort of setting the daughter up. And the daughter was getting embarrassed.
Yeah.
And I loved that because
Yeah.
it really helped the characters.
I'm fixing some food. You two okay eating outside?
Oh,
Not gonna bother you, Miss
He's
Gordon?
not staying. He's staying. You can call me Kathy. Kate, why don't you set up the table?
If you didn't have those moments, she would have felt quite a hard character.
Yeah, I
because
agree.
It was like you needed to sort of chip away at that.
Yeah.
And I think after that, you sort of softened to her.
Yeah.
But I mean, the mum, in some ways, the mum sort of stole it a little bit.
I
from me.
agree.
I really
she
loved
was a
the
lovely
mum.
character, and I really. While I was watching it, I was thinking, is she an actress from the original movie? And I was
I
thinking,
don't
is
know.
there any
I mean, I
I
was
don't think there
wondering if
was.
she was from ER or one of those characters. She looked really
familiar. Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't done my research, so I should have found out who she was.
I
loved
love
it,
their
and I loved
relationship.
that aspect because it's a case that does happen, and it made me, wonder because she had all this trauma, but she escaped and she went to New York. And it's that thing of when things aren't going right, if you have that connection at home, you go home. You run home.
You run home,
for that stability.
Yeah, that's
true. And that's exactly what she did.
It was like a reset,
yeah,
wasn't it?
And in some ways, the mother was kind of like stoking the fire in two areas.
All I'm saying is she always loved weather. Worse the weather, the happier the girl.
Because she was obviously thinking, well, he's quite rather lovely, and sort of smiling, especially when he gives
I'll
the
set up the
t-shirt.
couch for you.
I'll set up the couch. You can stay in the spare room.
Stay night.
But also, she was saying, well, she's done this and she's done that. So it's kind of, she was building her up, but not just because of that. She was also trying to give her daughter energy to return to what she had always wanted to do.
And what she loved.
And I think she could see that he could help to do that as well.
Which ultimately is what happens.
happens.
He realizes that her idea wasn't so daft, laughable or tragic or whatever, and that all it was is that they needed to put it through a new simulation.
Kate, in theory, this should have worked.
On their first test, that's the bit where they're in the truck together and they go out and they test it out, and it's like, oh, and it's all flirty and it's fantastic, and it doesn't work. And they're like, oh, okay, that didn't work. And then, of course, the big finale in the town.
Yeah.
Come on, you gotta go, it's here!
Get inside, everybody!
I did find it strange that she suddenly just decides just to get up and just go and do it herself.
Oh, okay.
As a scene, I didn't mind it, but I didn't necessarily buy it completely.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was okay, but there was so many inconsistencies, a bit like the original as well, where some things are flying through the air and then others aren't.
Yeah.
Like you have in the first film, you have a tanker getting picked up, but their truck is fine.
Yeah.
And then in this, you had like a trolley bus being propelled across the street, yet there's some hanging bits and pieces that aren't being affected at all.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and also, I mean, one of the team, her legs are up,
Yeah.
right up in the air, and he's
Yeah.
just holding on to her like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
And
I think also because in the first movie you start off with the first tier, then the second tier, so the progression of the tornadoes. You know that the next one's going to be bigger, and the next one's going to be bigger. With Twisters, they all felt the same, and they all felt just as destructive. And you're not really informed. You're not said, "Oh, this is an F5, this is an F4, this is." So it all becomes a bit samey.
Yeah.
I mean, the one before was more spectacular because it hit that power station and all the flames.
And I mean, that seemed so much more dangerous
Agreed.
because it involved both teams as well.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Wait, we can't just leave
We're not gonna leave him, but we gotta move!
What was quite interesting is that, I don't want to overplay it, but where they all end up in the cinema, and the way that they're trying to maybe evoke the sort of the cinema, the screen breaking away. But the fact that they made a choice that just the screen disappears, and so you're almost looking onto the destruction as almost like a movie. It's not real.
Yeah.
And until they get pulled up and sucked out. But but at the end, it's framed. The scene is framed by this, hole in the wall. But by that point,
you didn't care.
Well, it wasn't that I didn't care, but I didn't have the emotional impact that it should have had. You knew that she was going to succeed, and it just fizzled out, and there was no real high. There was no real like, oh, revelation. You know, like in the original, there's a revelation because they're inside the tornado and you can see their feet, and so there was like this is what she wanted.
Yeah.
She wanted to experience being in a tornado, and there was none of that in this new movie.
With the first movie, again, you get the team coming around, and it's lovely light music, and that's
and they
the
kiss,
finale,
and it's like
and
everyone's happy, everyone's good. Even the people who at the farm survive. They come up, and so it's like a flashback again to her family. It's like, you've solved this problem. This family have survived with their children. So there was more of a resolution in the first movie.
Obviously, the other one I've seen so many times. It's got some great actors. I've got a bit of a soft spot for it.
I think
and
that's
I didn't
probably
want
it.
that to play into this one.
Mm-hmm.
And so in some ways, there's a lot of faults with the first one.
Oh, agreed. Yeah,
there's a lot of faults
that's
with
true.
the first
That's
one.
true.
And you could say very similar things. It's like these setups that they find themselves in that are so unbelievable. And
that's
but
true.
then it's followed up quickly with comedy, so it has a different way of presenting itself.
Yeah.
But with this one, I actually enjoyed it in a similar level. I thought it's easy to watch with popcorn and just let it wash over you. There wasn't really anything that kind of niggled away at me like it did. That end scene, I thought they're just literally throwing everything that they could at it. And I was just buying into it.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't necessarily believe that, she would go out there and do that on her own, but she did. And in some ways I was like, go girl, sort of thing. But I mean, again, I didn't necessarily believe that she would be all right. In some ways, if she had delivered it and then they couldn't find the truck, that would have been more believable.
That would have been an interesting thing. Yeah, that would have been interesting. Maybe it's me looking back through rose-coloured glasses at the experience of tinted.
Maybe slightly.
Maybe greenish tinted glasses.
Yes, greenish tinted glasses.
I'll never get over that.
How would you rate these then?
Okay, so I think both of them I'd score quite high because they're fun rides. Both of them are fun rides in their own way. There's a real love of Twister in Twisters. So I'm going to go 8 for Twister and 7.5 for Twisters.
I'm going to do a 7.5 for Twister and a 7 for Twisters.
Okay, just half a mark lower than both. Okay, all right, okay. Well, that was fantastic.
It was fun.
It's been a really
these.
Fun watch. I've really had a good time.
I've enjoyed these. Yeah. And I mean, we've spoiled it all for you. But if you haven't seen these, they are really worth a watch.
Or just watch our show again.
Exactly. Feel free to comment. We'd love to hear your comments on these and see how you feel about them and the differences.
And it's possible you might have preferred Twisters to Twister because obviously I'm slightly tainted by it because it's a film I kind of grew up with more so.
Or you may have seen Twisters and actually not seen Twister.
Yeah,
so it's the other way round.
Yeah.
So it'd be really interesting to hear your comments on this.
Absolutely.
And please, if you've really enjoyed our chit chat, or if you've
not enjoyed our chit chat,
or if you've not enjoyed, but if you
a thumbs up would be lovely.
Yeah.
And a subscribe
if at all possible.
That would be amazing. That'd be really good. Thank you so much for watching. And you have a great evening.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll see you on the next one.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.